Hi. Good God. You guys need to listen to this thing. Jesus Christ. Alright guys, I have something to admit. So this is my first time riding it by myself, the H2. This is the first time I've ever ridden an H2 without someone else with me. So I can kind of take things at my own pace rather than feel like I need to A, compete with someone else or you know, follow someone else's lead. And I feel a little bit more comfortable by myself on bikes generally. I kind of hate group rides, to be honest. Not with someone that I'm close friends with. Let me make that clear. Like when I'm riding with a handful of people, like 2 or 3 people that I really trust and I like, that's different. But I'm talking about bigger group rides of like 5+. I kind of hate those because everyone feels the need to show off and act the fool, and I just don't care for that. I do that just on my own time. I don't need to do it in front of everybody else. One thing that I've been wanting to tell you guys about this is my like 2nd or 3rd time really riding my own bike. I rode a little bit in Barber, like around the track a little bit, not like on the track, but around the track, you know, just going back and forth to the museum and hanging out with Finn and meeting other people. It was basically like putzing around at less than 30 miles an hour, at least legally. But this thing makes me so unbelievably nervous, guys. You have no idea. And it's weird because you figured that since this one's not as powerful as, let's say, 650s, like why would I be nervous about this? But I think when it comes down to it, this is the nicest piece of machinery I've ever owned. You know, the Corvette's nice. It's a nice, but it's a car. You know, you can't damage it just by sitting at a stoplight. Does that make sense? I mean, I guess if someone hits you, it is. This thing is just so everything that I've ever wanted in life. And it's very nervous. It's like scoring a date with the hottest girl at school, you know? She thinks you're funny and cute and attractive, and you can't figure out why she likes you. That's exactly how this thing feels. You're just waiting for the but at the end of the conversation. Hey, there's the clock. I still don't know how to use this thing. I still don't know what buttons do what. I just figured out how to use the high beams. The high beams work like a car on this bike. It's very strange. You pull into flash and you push out to put on your high beams. Something I'm not used to. Usually you have like a switch. But no. They have all these buttons over here to navigate things, like these arrows here. First of all, these are your blinkers, which don't look like blinkers. And then you have these up and down arrows that do stuff that I'm not totally sure just yet. And then you have a horn and then your flashers. But there's so much going on with this bike. It makes me nervous. It feels unlike any bike I've ever owned or ridden. It's so outside of my comfort zone. I'm gonna try to take it kind of easy on this thing, especially since there's so many people who are nervous for me. I want to get a boost gauge. I don't know how to tell how much boost I'm making. I think factory these are around 20 psi, give or take. It makes boost really fast, and it makes a lot, like really quick. It can't stay on the ground, dude. Jeez. Right here at 24 years old, I've acquired my dream, my end-all bike. Ever since they were announced in 2015, I had the BMW S1000 was my favorite bike for the long time. It may not have been the fastest bike out there. It was pretty quick, but it was just the designing and the styling and the attitude of that bike, you know? Like it's got these crazy shark fins on the side and these weird oblong eyes. I thought there was nothing else that could be out there that would be better than that. And then Kawasaki, Captain Tom Petty on the football team over here. And think about how petty Kawasaki is, and it's one of my favorite things about him is that they're just absolutely petty. All right, we're all doing thousands, right? Honda Blackbird 1100, ZX12R, Hayabusa 1300, ZX14. There's something I did want to talk about this bike. First thing I want to talk about, this is the H2 and not the H2R. I think most people probably know the difference, but I keep seeing comments about it. Like, it's a pretty consistent string of comments from different users. So I think it's just something I'll clarify real quick. This is not an H2R, this is an H2, and here's the difference. The H2R is like a full carbon fiber track bike. It's not street legal, and it makes about 100 more horsepower depending on what air ram system you have. If you have the air ram, I think it's like 310 horsepower, somewhere around there, 326. But those are not street legal. They're track only. They have no blinkers, they have no headlights, and they have no taillights. And I think the whole thing is carbon fibers, and it has a bunch of cool like aero bits on it. I think that's only the major differences between the two bikes is the power and the street legal and the looks thing. But essentially, I think they're the same engine from what I'm able to do in my research. It's they might have forged internals. I don't know though. So the question begs is that, well, Dan, if the other one has more power, how come you didn't get the H2R, man? It's kind of like the same reason why I bought the Stingray versus the Z06. Oh, there's a big price point. I'm not going to say what I paid for mine because I don't like talking about my finances like that. I really don't. Oh my God, that was probably about half throttle, maybe a third. It's just ridiculous how fast this thing is. We'll just roll in the throttle. Oh. You can go into any website and look at used 2016 H2s and figure out kind of where I paid for it. It's not hard. You wouldn't ask a really good doctor like how much he makes, right? I'm not comparing myself to a doctor. I'm just saying, like, you wouldn't ask a preacher or a doctor or a lawyer how much they make a year. It's doing a YouTuber is like the weirdest thing, dude. People want to know how much I make like every day. How does this guy afford YouTube? Can you really do it? Oh, he's daddy's money. Inside job. 9/11. Very strange concept is that people always like talking about my finances. I think that's just YouTube in general. The H2R is about $30,000 more than the H2, first of all. Second of all, the H2 is street legal and the H2R is not. That's a big difference. I would like to ride this on the street. I like having mirrors and headlights and taillights and all that stuff. And you can make the H2R street legal. I know that. But this thing costs more than my truck does, right? If I got the H2R, it would cost more than my car. I'm not saying it's not worth it. I'm just saying that I'm not going to pay that, and it's not worth it to me. How about that? You know, they forget like how much of a difference $30,000 is, especially if you don't have $30,000. You're like, oh, just buy the H2R, pussy. But yeah, there's a big difference in price point and speed between the H2 and the H2R. Now, what's going to happen is that I'm going to do some performance parts to this. So I'm going to make this as close to 650's power as I can. It'll be pretty darn quick. You know, there's no reason for me to have that kind of power. I like having something I can full throttle and not worry about dying on. But I enjoyed his bike a lot, and maybe you know, I just want an aftermarket exhaust and some tuning. That's really all really I want. Warp mode. Oh my God! Oh, I've never felt adrenaline like this thing before. I thought this thing had fucking wheelie control. I don't understand. It's either it's not working or something. What am I doing, dude? Fucking shaking, dude. This thing is so fucking fast. Ugh, fuck. You know you're riding the wrong bike if you don't turn around and look at it when you walk away. God, don't move, please. I parked right there so I could look at it while I work out. That's so ridiculous, I know. Not about a workout, man. I have to change up my workout routine. I'm trying to lose some weight now. But one of the things I was talking about earlier is what's the difference between a Ninja H2 and the H2R, and why didn't I get an H2R? And that's because of price and whatever. I'm not going to buy a $50,000 motorcycle, $55,000. It's ridiculous. But at the same time, so is an H2. But at the end of the day, it'll be making about as much power as an H2R does when I'm done with it. Everyone's like, you better change the exhaust. And I have a lot of plans for this bike. The exhaust is probably one of the first things next to lowering it. I'm gonna drop it 3/4 of an inch like 650 did with his. That was just like the all-around perfect height for me. It's very comfortable for me. I'm tiptoeing on this bike, and it's a little bit heavier than the ZX10 is, so I wanna do that. I wanna get rid of that height difference. I'm leaving for Texas tomorrow. I haven't decided if I'm bringing the H2 with me or not, if I'm gonna bring the ZX10, just because I'm not sure if I feel confident loading this in the back of a truck by myself just yet. Oh my God. And it's got a quick shifter on it too, which is really cool. I think it's turned on. I don't know. I also saw the new It movie. My friend Blair and I went and saw the new It movie. And here's the thing, a lot of people may or may not know this. I don't like scary movies. I don't like scary video games. I don't like anything that's jump scary. I don't like fear. I hate scary movies so much, right? And as a kid, the It movie originally scared the absolute living dick off me. Scariest movie I ever watched as a kid, actually. I can very remember almost crying out of fear. You know, I went back and watched some of the clips from that movie before I saw the new It, just to see, like, I don't know, for comparison. The old It movie now seems laughable. It's hilarious, especially the scene in the library and the second part where they're adults and they come back. Oh my gosh, that scene where he's like, "Do you have Prince Albert in the can?" Well, you better let him out. It's like, oh man, that was probably the funniest moment in that movie. Fucking Christ, man, what are you doing? Well, anyway, saw the new movie, It, and it did have some scary parts in it. There was like 2 or 3 jump scares, but it wasn't terrifying. Like the movie itself, there wasn't at any point in the movie where I was like, oh no, this is too much. I don't like clowns. I hate clowns, but not to the point where I can't, you know, watch them on screen. And I watched a lot of reviews before I saw it. The movie was a good movie. It was genuinely a good movie. Like the children actors, which are surprising. Normally children actors kind of suck because they're kids. You know, they don't really understand things. But these were very mature kids. They did a great job. One of the kids in the movie is played by the kid from Stranger Things, the Netflix series, which is an awesome show. I love that show. So seeing him in it was really great, and the way the kids interact with each other was fantastic. So even as someone who hates scary movies, I hate jump scares, I hate anything that's spooky, it was a really good movie. And I have to say that even if you don't like scary movies, I think it's a good movie to go see. There's a guy in front of me on an F-07, it looks like, with his girlfriend on the back, something like that. That's a 250, isn't it? I can't wait till I get an exhaust on this thing either, man. I've got some parts on the way. I don't know. I don't know if I've talked about it on camera what I'm gonna do, but I'll keep it kind of a secret until I start putting stuff on. I'll do unboxing and videos and good stuff like that. People like unboxing videos. I like unboxing videos. God dang, man. I came over that crest of that hill and the front wheel just kind of coasted above it. You know, there's really not a whole lot I want to change aesthetically to this bike. I like the OEM handles. I love the OEM bars. I love the OEM mirrors. As a matter of fact, these are probably the best mirrors I've ever had on a motorcycle before. Home sweet home. I definitely don't deserve something like this. Thank you, everybody.